So how do you survive the holidays as an introvert? As an introvert myself, I've learned some ways to make the holidays successful because there's so much stimulation. There's so much noise. There's so much people. There's so much expectations. And be sure and stay with me till the end when I talk about something that is extremely important for you to do to make sure that all of these are successful. Let's first talk about parties. Maybe the idea of a party, especially a work party, is just totally not something that you want to do. However, there's certain things that you can do to help even if you're feeling uncomfortable. First of all, show up early. You know, a lot of times we think, well, if a party starts at this time, I don't want to show up when it first starts. If you're introverted and the idea of lots of people and lots of noise and walking into a crowded room of people already in conversation and already in the full swing really either intimidates you, makes you feel uncomfortable, or is really not something that you want to be a part of, get there early. Whenever you get to any kind of social event, whether it's a work party or even a party at someone's house or social, there's not going to be nearly as many people that are on the early side. So if you get there right when it starts, people aren't going to already be in these clusters. The place itself is going to be quieter and calmer. And the extra benefit of this is you can leave early and it's not going to look odd at all because you got there early. And when you do get there, try to see if there's something that you can do to help with. Rather than asking, hey, do you need any help? You're probably going to get, no, everything's just fine. I've got it. However, if you ask something like, can I help you put the food out? Or can I help you set up a playlist? Whenever you have a role or some kind of task, number one, it takes the attention off of yourself and it puts it on whatever task that you're doing. So you're not having to be as exposed socially. Even if it's greeting people at the door. You're greeting people at the door, maybe you're taking their coat, you're telling them, hey, come on in, and then you're just waiting at the door to greet the next person. Now, if you're listening to me and you're thinking, I really am not going to go to a party, there is just no way. I would be absolutely miserable. I understand. All you have to do in this situation is if a person is planning a party separate from like a big party that you really don't know who's in charge of, but if you know the person who has sent you the invitation, if it's a friend or if it's your boss, at least reply to them and let them know that you have other plans and you're not going to be able to make it. Even if your other plans are just sitting at home, they don't have to know that, but at least acknowledge the invitation. And I do have a video above and in the description below that is party hacks specifically for introverts. The second thing that you can do to survive the holidays well is to prepare for conversations. You're going to see people that you only see maybe once a year at this time of year, or people that you don't really have conversations with, and you're going to see them at maybe the office party or a different kind of event. And so prepare for those conversations ahead of time. Think about who you're going to see. Think about the last time that you saw them, what was going on in their lives, and be able to make a comment or ask them a question about that. And on the flip side, know that these people who haven't seen you in so long are going to say, hey, so what's been going on? And you're going to probably be tempted to say, not much, nothing new. And think about what has been going on in your life, something that you feel comfortable sharing. It doesn't have to be a long story. In fact, it shouldn't be a long story, but at least offer them something when you answer that question. As introverts, we have to be intentional about this because it doesn't come naturally. I find this book very helpful, How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes. She gives all kinds of scenarios on how to start conversations with people and how to respond in conversations. I've got the link to this book in the description below. I love this book. Next, let's talk about shopping. Now, I know most of you are going, shopping, that's easy. I don't leave my house. I do everything online. And for introverts, we love online shopping. It's like texting versus making a phone call. It's absolutely wonderful for introverts. However, there's probably going to be times when you've got to get out there and you have to shop in person. So how do you do this when everybody else is out? All of the noise, all of the crowds. First of all, what you can do is try to go by yourself. Try to go by yourself so that you're not having to be with someone the whole time and there's that much more stimulation. Next, the best time to go, even during the holiday season, is early in the morning, right when they open, or late at night, just before they close. The stores are going to be so much less busy at that time. And I find that actually it takes on a different setting. If I'm at the grocery store early in the morning, I actually feel different because there's hardly anybody else in the store. The next thing you can do to survive well during the holidays is to be intentional when you travel. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about airports because they are just crazy, crazy busy. However, I'm going to share some ways that you can actually get some peace and quiet in an airport. First of all, I recommend you find out if the airport has a chapel. I have gone into chapels at airports and I hardly ever run into one person in there while I'm there. They're usually empty. And what's so amazing is when I'm in there, I totally feel different. And then I open the door to go back out, and all of these crowds are rushing to and fro, and yet nobody is coming inside the chapel. Next, go to where there's an empty gate. There's not a flight going out anytime soon. You're going to probably see some people down there, but like you, they're probably wanting to get away from all the crowds and noise, so they're going to probably be on the quiet side as well. Now, I have a video that's all about travel tips for introverts so that you don't wear yourself out. So be sure and check that out above and in the description below. Next, it's visitors, whether it's visitors at your home or you're having to go to someone else's house. Sometimes even when it's family, it can be exhausting for an introvert because there's no escape. So just as I talked about helping out at parties, you can have certain tasks that you're doing if somebody's coming into your home, certain tasks that you have to go do to be by yourself, such as laundry, such as washing your hair, such as going to wash your car. You can do these certain tasks to remove you from everybody else. Same thing with errands. You can have certain errands that you need to run. Just let somebody know before you leave, before you either leave the house or go outside for a walk or something like that, because sometimes when you disappear, people will wonder, are they mad? What happened to them? And then even more attention is being called upon you than if you had let them know in the beginning that you're just going to go take care of something and that you'll be back. So whether somebody's visiting you or you're visiting someone else, think about what task can you do or what task can you help with. Even if it's a task that you're doing with another person, there's not going to be as much social pressure because you're focused on the task. What do you need to do to be successful with all of these things so that there's not misunderstandings? That is set expectations. If you've got a friend or a significant other or a family member that you're navigating the holidays with, to actually set expectations with them ahead of time so that they don't get puzzled or irritated or frustrated afterwards. Sometimes it's all about negotiating a happy medium. Maybe your wife wants you to go to the office party with her as well as go to visit her family for Christmas. And if it's really important to someone that you care about, you want to negotiate with them. So in that situation, you could say, I'll go to the party, but could we just stay for 1 hour? And if we go to your parents for Christmas, let's stay in a hotel, or let's just stay one night. Especially if you've got a family member or a significant other who's extroverted, a lot of times they get puzzled and they get confused about why we as introverts get so exhausted about all of this stuff. So if you're in that situation, I hope that you will consider sharing this video so that they have a better understanding about some things that can stress introverts during the holidays. Do you have ways of coping during the holidays that you would like to share? If so, do that in the comments below so that we can all learn from each other. Thanks for watching.